Lay it on
Sir.
me. Yeah. What am I?
I think you come from a different timeline.
What are you talking about?
I think you live in a different world. Your world isn't from you where you grew up. That world
Michigan.
isn't the same world that I grew up in.
Boston.
Yeah. And I
Michigan
think
and Massachusetts are different states.
two different. No. That's not what I'm saying. The realities are different, man.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I'm talking about how you remember things are different from how I remember things.
Everybody's perception is different, yeah.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that, like, I think of certain things as a certain way.
Yeah.
While you think of things as a certain way.
Yeah, because we're different people and we have different memories and life experience.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that, you know, things have happened, right?
Yes, things have happened. We can
Right?
both agree on this. Things have happened.
Right? But you remember them differently than I do.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with opinions whatsoever.
No, it's just some people's memories are better than others.
No. That's not where I'm going with this.
It's true, though.
Well, yeah, it is true.
Okay.
That is true. I will create you. You are making a right point there. Okay. I get it. Okay. Like, for instance, it wasn't always Clip City. It was Clip Town before.
It was never Clip Town. It was always Clip City.
No, it was Clip Town before.
Hey, listen back to the episodes. It's always been Clip City.
We'll go right now. Check it out right now.
You're really gonna make me go, I'm gonna have to go through and find every single time we've said Clip City. Oh shit.
First episode.
I'm gonna find it. Here it is. Yeah, there is no way that I'm gonna take the time to do that.
Clip Town. It used to be Clip Town. Now it's Clip City. And I'm telling you, man, this is not just about minds in person, like yours and mine's. Not our opinions. There's a greater truth out there that's happening.
What?
It's this whole thing with the Hydra. Hail Hydra.
You talking about G.I. Joe?
Cobra. That's Cobra.
You talking about Captain America?
I'm talking
Captain
about
Khan?
Yeah, I think
Captain
they've done
Kangaroo?
something already. And I think they were trying to let us know about it. And it had to do with the collider, the hydrogen collider.
The Hadron.
The Hydron.
Hadron.
The Hadron.
Hadron.
The hard-on.
Collider. The hard-on collider.
The hard-on collider.
You know, this just might be the biggest intro cold bit we've had, or cold opening we've had yet. There's the intro. So you want to talk about the Mandela effect is what I was trying to say. There we go. We got there. We got there.
Yes.
I was just confused. I was trying to play along with your bit. I didn't know where it was going. Okay, so obviously we have to point out that even though the Mandela effect is a ridiculous idea,
It's absolutely ridiculous.
scientifically,
It's possible.
it is possible. Based on quantum mechanics and how all that shit works, there's a 0.0000001% chance that it actually is possible.
They thought when they were gonna the Hadron. I'm sorry. Now I fucking it up myself on purpose, on accident. Anyways, the Hadron, when they turned it on, there was a lot of worry that it was gonna blow up the whole universe.
Yeah.
We're all gonna get sucked into a little tiny black hole.
Yeah.
And never be seen again.
Yeah. Didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
It ran for like a year or so.
Or did it?
Or did it completely change the parallel universes that are there?
Yeah. Did it destroy other parallel universes? Or did it combine all the surrounding universes into the one that we live in and exist today?
Or did everything as we know it pop into existence once the Hadron Collider was turned on?
That's also possible.
And we just remember because we are as we are, and we were created with our memories and all of our experiences, but they were artificial.
We were born with the memories.
That last Thursdayism shit.
Last Thursday.
No, but it does kind of bleed into the idea of the Mandela effect and people being like, oh, Carmen San Diego, her coat was not red, it was yellow. It was Berenstein, not Berenstain. It does bring in the concept of like, what is your truth? You know what I mean?
Yes, your truth.
Because
your truth.
There is something to be said though, like for real, with the idea that people, you know, they think and perceive things a certain way, so to them, that is their reality. Like, that is how they see the world. You know what I mean? So how you see the world and how I see the world, even though they may align on a lot of the same ways, they are two different, quote, truths. Because the way I see it is true to me, and the way you see it is true to you. Now, that's not saying there is not a such thing as objective science. But it's all down. But it's the idea of perception, right?
Even science is not objective these days, my friend.
Well,
let me just tell you this. We're not treating it like objective science.
I'm treating it.
We're subjective on the science as all possible hell right now.
Okay.
And let me say something about truths.
Go off
your
the chain,
truths,
baby.
Your truth, my truths.
Nothing but the truth.
Before the Hadron Collider started,
Yeah.
all right, we used to call it opinions. We used to be like, your opinion versus my opinion. My debate, my theories versus your theories. That's what it was. That's what it used to be. Now we're calling it everybody's truth. Like, your truths, because you come from a different universe, and my truth, because they come from a different... I come from a different universe.
Here's the question, though, right? Like, is it not appropriate to say, or not... Like, is it not correct to say that my opinion is true to me, therefore it is my truth? That does not mean that it is true in the mathematical sense, but it is true to me in the fact that I believe and perceive it in such a way.
Well, if we want to, if that's what we want to do about everything.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's arguing semantics. It is true.
Well, there's the importance of like what a meaning of a word is, right?
Yes.
Truth, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There is the truth.
The
then
truth.
there is my truth, which my truth can be false.
Well, then it's not a truth. Because it's
No.
true or false.
But
it's not true
it's
and false.
It's true to me. It's
Then
subjectively
it is
true.
your opinion.
Well, but that's the thing. It's subjectively true, but objectively false.
And
Most
then,
people,
but science,
this exists in the realm of they, to them, are attractive, but objectively, they're not attractive. You know?
it's still an opinion. It's not a truth.
It's
you can't
still an opinion.
use.
It is
You
an
can't
opinion.
replace opinion with truth. You can't. Truth is one thing. The truth, whether anybody observes the truth or not, whether everybody can pontificate on the truth,
Yes.
whether they're right or wrong, if they don't know it to be absolutely true, it is still an opinion. It is not your truth versus my truth. You can't use truth in that context.
I agree with you.
Well, then why
I'm
is
playing-
everybody using my truth? You can have your truths, and I'll have my truths.
It's the idea. Okay, it's the idea of it's a similar idea to moral relativism, and the idea that like, oh, I have my morals and my ethics, and you have your morals and your ethics.
Okay.
And then you're supposed to just excuse what everybody else's morals and ethics are because it's all relative. But, you know, you're gonna disagree. Like, I had a conversation about this with somebody in college, a friend of mine, and she was talking about one of her ex-boyfriends who cheated on her, and he was not very good to her. But she was like, oh, I believe in moral relativism, and I was like, what do you mean? She goes, well, you know, everybody's morals and ethics are different, and I was like, then why did you get pissed off at your ex for cheating on you? And she goes, what are you talking about? That was a horrible thing to do. And I'm like, no, but you just said that everyone has their own moral compass. So how can you get mad at someone who has a different moral compass than you? And she's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, exactly. That doesn't make any sense. So there has to be a certain objective moral compass and set of ethics that, at the very least, a society agrees upon, which is where we derive laws from it. A society cannot thrive if they say, yes, everyone's morals are different, so let's just allow that, and then in the next breath get mad when someone does something that's against their morals. Because it's the paradox of, what is it, the paradox of tolerance? Where it's like, oh, you're supposed to be tolerant of everything, except intolerance. It's a paradox.
Well, I would just preface it that if we're talking about truths, right? Truths should be objective only.
Yes.
They should be things that are only proven to be what they are.
The problem that I think that you're dealing with here in this is the same thing that I'm dealing with, is semantically the sentence that this is true to me, but it is objectively false, is a correct sentence. Semantically. Pure, like,
Sure.
It is correct and it is valid to say. I get why it's angering, because you're like, no, it's not true. But it's not objectively true. But subjectively it is. And semantically it is. I do agree with you that we need to stop replacing opinion with my truth, your truth, this truth, that truth, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
However, when we're talking...
Let's call the whole thing off.
Well, but when we're talking in terms of, like, perception with, like, the Mandela effect, right? Like, if you want to replace it's my truth with it's the way I perceive it, then that makes more sense.
Yes.
Because perception and opinion are similar but different.
Right.
Because perception involves the way that you subconsciously or consciously see the world. And you can have a warped perception of things. Like, take a sociopath, right? Like, Patrick Bateman, his perception is a little bit different than what is objectively good.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit off.
A little bit off. Just a little bit off.
Well, just a little nipper. Just a little nipper off.
But to say, okay, so it's like you watch these guys with their like the Nelson Mandela thing, right?
Yes. To get back to Mandela effect. Yeah.
He talks like there's people that would be like, I could have swore somebody said something about Mandela. There's that video you showed me the other day about Bush talking about Mandela.
Yeah.
And all
Mandela's dead.
All these Mandelas are dead.
Yeah.
Which Mandela is he talking about? Is he talking about Nelson Mandela or is he talking about another Mandela?
Well, also, too,
because it'd be one thing to be like, I'm Mandela. There's not one Mandela in the whole fucking planet. It's not just Nelson Mandela and that's it. You know, it could have been referenced to anything. It could have been referenced to Nelson Mandela's family.
Or...
from the past.
Or Mandela's legacy.
Or Nelson Mandela's legacy.
Because until he got out of prison, he didn't become president and didn't end apartheid. Like, the fact of the matter is, yes, it's scientifically possible, but it's highly improbable.
Highly.
Now, I like to suspend my disbelief a lot of the times and just listen to the people who are going, oh, there's been another change, and just like, you know, pretend to believe all this shit.
Let me guess, this change always happens in a movie.
It's either a movie or it's a product name. Like the spelling of a product name. Like Febreze.
Oh yeah, Febreze, yeah.
It was F-E-B-R-E-E-Z-E, not F-E-B-R-E-Z-E. Come on, man. And when did this little line get above the first E? When did that happen? It's like, fucking, you're an idiot. It's been there the whole time. I think my favorite is the Volkswagen symbol.
Oh, that's classic.
When they're like, oh, there's a line through it, but now you look at it, there's no line through it. I'm like, yeah, they used to do that so they could get away with it in movies. They would just add a line there, or in advertisements and pictures, they would just add a line there so they could not get sued because they're like, technically it's different.
Yep. It's all it takes, guys. It's all it takes. It's just a little difference.
You know what it is?
It's all about the money.
I think with the Mandela shit, It's people don't want to. Okay, so you know how when there's that like aha moment, right? When you figure something out and you're like, oh, it's so simple, and it's like, oh, I get it. And it's a really good moment of like, that's how that works, or that's how you did that.
Endorphins are flowing.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I figured it out. But when it comes to like magic tricks, if you told them actually how you did it, where you're like, well, there's a piece of gaff tape over here, there's a mirror behind here, we cut the lights down here so you can't see what happens over here, and this is how we do the whole thing. There's no aha moment in that. It's just like, oh, really? Oh, well.
There's actually a piston over here that raises up, but it's behind this post.
Yeah, it's
you can't see it.
That's boring. Yeah. Those are the ugly truths, right?
Yeah.
They're ugly. You're like, I don't want to see that shit. I wanted it to be like clever, like, oh, it was in the hat the whole time. Oh, I get it. But with all these Mandela
or
changes,
the Prestige.
Yeah. So, he's been killing his clones.
Actually, he's been killing his previous self.
Yeah, it's not even. Yeah, the clone is what lives on. That's fucked up.
We'll talk about. Crazy.
We got to talk about that.
No, save that for another episode. Yeah.
That's fucked up.
That's fucking. It is fucking nuts.
Also, it creeps me out because I never want to do it. But
it hurts every time.
He's fucking drowning to death. And the other guy just.
That's the other thing. Why does he want to drown the shit out of himself?
This is a whole.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This is a whole.
Okay.
This is a whole podcast.
Okay. If you only had a twin.
If I only had a twin. But with the Mandela stuff, like all these explanations for like the Forrest Gump thing, they're like, oh, he says was, not is. Here's a recording of when he says is, and I'm like, yeah, that's a different take. Notice that it's at a different distance and angle. That is a different take. He fucked up that take, but it was the best one that they had, so they put it in the movie. That's an ugly truth. There's no creativity in that. There's no fun in that truth. That's an ugly truth. Or like the getting sued aspect of the Volkswagen logo, right? Like, that's an ugly truth. That's not fun.
It's not funny.
You're just like, oh, what? Really? Oh, that's lame.
Yeah.
There's no fun in that.
There's no fun in it.
So why would anybody want to like believe that?
There's no fun in to believe that Anton Yelchin actually just died in a horrible accident.
Yes, he had to have been murdered by the Illuminati.
He had to have been murdered for Satan ritual.
Yes, it's like
because he was 27.
Yes,
and God forbid that he was 28 or 26.
Oh God, we could do an entire hour on Illuminati theories.
He had to be 27, so therefore he was part of the ritual killing of a famous celebrity.
And what? That's another thing.
Which doesn't happen every year either.
By the way, with that,
it just only happens when a 27-year-old dies.
Yeah. How many celebrities die every year? Honestly, like they only
a handful at least.
But like, if you think globally, and like even B-listers, C-listers, D-listers, there's always an old person or a young person that gets involved in an accident or a drug overdose or a health condition. They only pull the shit out when it fits in the numerology.
Yeah.
They only do that.
Yep.
Like, if you look at a clock in a movie, they don't use that as a thing that it's the Illuminati saying like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Unless it's like a specific time. They're like, oh, see, in all of these movies, this clock tower said this digital clock said this. And I'm like, yeah, what about all the other movies that came out that year that also had clocks at some point in the movie?
Yeah.
You're picking these examples out because...
Cherry picking.
Yes.
Because it's their truths.
You know, it's funny. That's how I was first introduced to cherry picking, was the Illuminati shit. Whoa, the timer's going off. I mean, what timer? We don't.
What time?
We don't time anything. Not since we switched up the format.
I gotta pee like a motherfucking racehorse too.
We didn't switch up the format.
We didn't switch anything. This is our reality.
It's been like
this is our truth. The whole time.
It's been like this.
We never.
Hey, Nelson, what's going on? Hey, Nelson Mandela. Everybody.
Nelson, hey, come.
Hey, everybody. That's not what Nelson Mandela sounds like, is it?
It is, because that's him talking right now, right?
Oh,
Yeah, that's Nelson.
Okay.